Edgar Vincent, 1st Viscount Dabenham GCFRS, was a British politician, diplomat, art collector and author. Early life. Vincent was the youngest son of Sir Frederick Vincent, 11th Baronet, of Stoke Dabenham, and his second wife, Maria Copley. He was born at Slinfold, West Sussex, and educated at Eton College for the diplomatic service. Instead, he spent 5 years as a member of the Coldstream Guards before coming into the service as secretary to Lord Edmund Fitzmaurice, Queen's Commissioner on the East Room alien question. He was himself appointed Commissioner for the evacuation of Thessaly and advised the Egyptian government on financial matters from 1883 to 1889. Ottoman bank crash. That year he became governor of the Imperial Ottoman Bank. One of his policies was to get the bank involved in South African mining shares on European stock exchanges. This caused a speculation craze in Constantinople where tens of thousands of people bought South African mining shares, a lot of them with money loaned from the Ottoman Bank. This led to a run on the bank in late 1895 and then a crash in the share values, followed by an international panic and the financial ruin of many of those who invested in the shares. Vincent was heavily condemned for his role in the disaster, though he personally made a fortune from the shares. In 1896, the banking office in Constantinople was occupied by a group of armed Armenians who threatened to destroy the building with bombs. Vincent escaped through a skylight and notified the Turkish authorities at the Sublime Porte and secured a negotiator from the Russian embassy. The attackers agreed to surrender their bombs in exchange for safe passage to exile in France, being conducted on Sir Edgar's private vessel. Member of Parliament. In 1899 he was elected a Conservative Member of Parliament for Exeter. He was less of true Conservative than a personal devotee of the Conservative leader, J. Balfour. He held the seat until losing to a Liberal in 1906. He opposed the Conservative policy of tariff reform and unsuccessfully stood for the Liberal Party in Colchester in December 1910. In July 1914 he was raised to the peerage as Baron Dabenham of Esher, Surrey, upon the recommendation of the Prime Minister, H. Asquith, Poland. Dabenham was part of the Interallied mission to Poland in July 1920, during the Polish-Soviet War. Later this experience provided material for his book The 18th Decisive Battle of the World. Warsaw, 1920. Ambassador to Germany. From 1920 to 1925 Dabenham was the British ambassador to Berlin. In September 1921 he wrote that the success of the Inter-Allied Military Commission of Control, which reported on German disarmament, meant that there would be no military danger from Germany for many years and that it would be impossible for the Germans to conceal the manufacture of heavy weaponry. In February 1922 he criticized the idea of a military alliance between Britain and France. The fundamental criticism is that England undertakes definite and very extensive responsibilities in order to avoid a danger which she believes to be largely imaginary. An armed attack by Germany on France within the next 25 years is admittedly improbable. An attack by Germany on England in the same period even more so. The whole tone of the French is to assume that the real danger to the future peace of Europe is military aggression by Germany. On 9 February 1925 Dabenham wrote that it was necessary to abandon the view that Germans are such congenital liars that there is no practical advantage in obtaining from them any engagement or declaration. On this assumption progress is impossible. Personally I regard the Germans as more reliable and more bound to written engagements than many other nations. Lord Van Sittart called Dabenham the pioneer of appeasement. General J. H. Morgan also called Dabenham the apostle of appeasement, and did not believe in the possibility, much less the probability, of a German military revival. Honours. Dabernon was appointed Knight Commander of the Order of St. Michael and St. George in 1887, promoted to Knight Grand Cross in 1917, and made Knight Grand Cross of the Order of the Bath in 1926. He joined the Privy Council in 1920, was created Baron Dabernon, of Esher in the county of Surrey, in 1914 and elevated to Viscount Dabernon, of Esher and Stoke Dabernon in the county of Surrey, in 1926. He succeeded his elder brother as 16th Baronet of Stoke Dabernon in 1936. Directorships. After his retirement from the Foreign Service, Dabernon devoted his time to directorships of numerous domestic organizations such as the Lawn Tennis Association, the Racecourse Betting Control Board, the Medical Research Council, and the National Institute of Industrial Psychology, and the Royal Mint Advisory Committee. He was also a trustee of the National and Tate Galleries, and was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society in 1934. He was also president of the Royal Statistical Society from 1926 to 1928. Personal life. Dabernon married the renowned beauty Helen Venetia Duncombe in 1890. Together they shared a love of society and the fine arts, especially English painting. Both had portraits made by John Singer Sargent. She posed for hers in 1904 at their villa, the Palazzo Giustiniani, in Venice. Vincent was chairman of the Royal Commission on National Museums and Galleries, which published its report in 1928. The bulk of their art collection was sold at auction in 1929. 2 works once in their collection are in the National Gallery, 3 at the National Gallery of Art, Washington, and others at the Yale Center for British Art and other museums. Dabernon died of hypostatic pneumonia and Parkinson's disease at Hove in November 1941. As the couple were childless, his titles became extinct when he died. Styles and honors. Edgar Vincent. Sir Edgar Vincent KCMG. Sir Edgar Vincent KCMG MP. Sir Edgar Vincent KCMG. The Right Honourable the Lord Dabernon KCMG. The Right Honourable the Lord Dabernon GCMG. The Right Honourable the Lord Dabernon GCMG PC. The Right Honourable the Viscount Dabernon GCMG PC. The Right Honourable the Viscount Dabernon GCB GCMG PC. The Right Honourable the Viscount Dabernon GCB GCMG PC FRS. Works. A Grammar of Modern Greek. Alcohol, its action on the human organism. His Majesty's Stationery Office, London, 1918. An Ambassador of Peace, 3 volumes. Hodder and Stoughton, London, 1929–1931. The 18th Decisive Battle of the World. Warsaw, 1920, Hodder and Stoughton, London, 1931, reprinted by Hyperion Press, Westport, Con, 1977, ISBN 0-88355-429-1.